The ACLJ is going to be representing Governor Noem and the state of South Dakota in their battle against Planned Parenthood.
What South Dakota is trying to do, Andy, is simply say, before you have this procedure, which they allow to have, you're going to go to a third-party counselor licensed by the state and get counseling so you know what you're doing.
I don't understand what the objection is, except it's the knee-jerk reaction of Planned Parenthood to anything that smacks of preventing, in any way impeding abortion.
You've got to go talk to somebody. Doesn't mean you can't have an abortion. It just means you have to go talk to somebody to walk you through what you're about to do.
This is the only medical procedure where a life is taken. I mean, Cece, I reiterate that over and over again. You cannot compare this. People say, well, if I go get a tonsillectomy, I don't have to go to a third party to get my tonsils out. But it's interesting. You can't just go to your general practitioner and get your tonsils out. You go to a specialist. They give you informed consent. But they're not ending another person's life.
When you go to Planned Parenthood, they do not give women that information. They do not give them the information where a pregnant woman can make an informed decision.
They say they give informed consent, but their version of informed consent and what we're talking about as informed consent are two different things.
It's very limited of the information they give. They don't want to let you see the baby. They don't want to let you hear the heartbeat. They don't tell you about all the problems that can happen. And we've had women call in to our radio show and say, they just ushered me through. They didn't tell me what was going to happen. And that's why you see so many people come out of abortions that are crying, because they realize what they have done after the fact. They need to have that realization before the fact.
This is unique among any other procedure. This is the taking of a human life. So what is the harm constitutionally if you say, you know what, before you have this procedure where you take this human life, because as Jordan said, you cannot argue it's not a human life anymore. They don't even argue that. I mean, that's when they're selling fetal parts. They're talking about body parts.
We live in an age where people say, follow the science with respect to climate change. But then with respect to certain other issues, they say, oh, it's just a matter of choice. So I think at the end of the day, one of the things that we have to fight very strongly in favor of is we need to fight in favor of the truth and allowing individuals to make their own decision once they've been presented with the truth.
How big is it for the fact that the state of South Dakota has made us special deputy attorney general?
I mean, that's huge. I mean, I was a special assistant attorney general in Georgia for many, many years under Democratic and Republican administrations. Yep. But it's a big thing for the state to go out of its own wheelhouse and to choose outside attorneys to be special assistant AGs or deputy AGs to argue these cases.
It's another unique law, like we saw in Texas, and it ties right into that. Because a Obama-appointed district court judge in Texas today just denied the DOJ's request for an expedited briefing schedule, did not enter an injunction yet, is not even going to hear the issue of an injunction until October 1st. So still, now you had the Planned Parenthood challenge, then you had the DOJ challenge. Both so far have not been successful.
This is big that the United States opposed motion for expedited briefing schedule is denied. Now, that's not a merits decision, understand that. But what it does tell you is that the court, at least at this point, Andy, is not looking at this law as if it is per se unconstitutional.
Judges will signal ahead to you by their rulings, preliminary rulings, what they're intending to do. And if this was something that had to be expedited, he might have said it's granted and we're going to expedite the review. But he didn't do that, which sends a signal. I don't know what it is. You never know what a judge is going to do, but it sends a signal that gives us hope.
They are common sense approaches. But that is precisely what Planned Parenthood opposes. They oppose the Texas law. Why? Because it's very, very unique. It allows citizens to bring a cause of action to protect human life. And what is Planned Parenthood all about? It is about actually shrinking human life throughout the world.
Whether it's South Dakota or Texas or Mississippi with the case that will be up before the Supreme Court, all different things. One is like a 15-week out of Mississippi, a ban, and then you've got the 6-week issue out of Texas, and you also have, of course, in South Dakota, the informed consent issue of utilizing a third party. That's all happening. Those are 3 Republican governors, 3 states that were willing to take novel approaches to fight back against Planned Parenthood and the abortion industry.
The whole moral issue, I think, has developed over the years. We have a whole generation of younger women coming up now who are very much against abortion because society has changed and we know more. And so I think we have to take that into account as well. It is a very serious issue, and I think the pro-abortion part of our society, they are concerned and they are alarmed because their science is abandoning them.
Yeah, they're losing the science battle.
As is the population.
They're losing the populace, they're losing the science, and frankly, they're losing the courts.
Yeah.
And you look at the Texas one, they took that to Texas, to the Supreme Court on an emergency basis, and they thought they were going to carry the day.
It'd probably be easy.
And they lost.
There's been a shift in the courts. The Trump administration appointed a lot of new judges all the way up through to the Supreme Court, but a lot of district court, a lot of appellate court, and you're starting to see a different view, a different way of analyzing these restrictions or informed consent rules or heartbeat rules, all of that.